Hello and welcome to another Uncomplication. I'm going to try something a little different today. I've got this app Explain Everything up and running, which allows me to overlay my camera while I draw on the screen. And I'm going to noodle through some ideas today. And I want to start with the idea that got me doing this in the first place. A couple weeks ago, I was out in California at my friend Taylor's art and life retreat. And he's a brilliant, beautiful human. He had some amazing things to share. He is a career artist. He paints murals, and I have been shocked at how good he is at letting go of results. There's actually a painting on the wall back there that Taylor did, a live painting at a concert for our friends. A great band, Wasteland Hop. Anyway, he painted this live in the audience and was allowing people to just come up and add to the canvas. And he just give them a paintbrush, and he had this beautiful composition going, and then someone would get up, beer in one hand, paintbrush in the other, and just, make a big mess over in the corner. And Taylor's just completely calm, cool, and collected. He goes in there and he kind of adds to it and kind of makes it something new, and another person comes along. And as a artist myself, as an artist, I have such attachment to results because I feel like the things that I do, they represent me, and I know what I'm capable of, and I want to appear in the world as this brilliant creator. And it was cool talking to Taylor. He was saying, as he was giving me a painting lesson even, real artists just show up and they just do things. And they're not attached to any one result. It's just through that process of showing up day after day after day, sketch after sketch after sketch, and whether it's writing or painting or a YouTube channel, just getting in that habit of showing up and creating and then not being attached to results is what I am striving for. And in the painting that I did at his place, man, I hated it. I hated how it ended. I had a moment in the middle where it was looking really good, and I kept going, and I feel like I kind of messed it up, and I just don't like it. But when I showed it to my partner, she said, "That's one of my favorite paintings you've ever done." And I guess that's sort of the thing that I'm going for here, is that there are so many videos that I have made in the last year, I can't even count them, and they don't meet my standard of the quality that I want to put out. Or, people call me out in comments and they say things like, "Oh, I hate people that just try and be profound for profoundness sake." And that rings true, and it kind of makes me not want to put stuff out there because, yeah, it's an unfinished kind of thing that I'm doing here. And so I think that perfectionism has uh, caused me to create some pretty cool things in my life, but I see how it's just the enemy of me doing stuff. So I'm showing up here today, and I am literally just going to sketch for you. I am going to talk through a concept that's on my mind, and this is not the most profound video in the world. It's just something. And yeah, so I woke up this morning, and in the Crypto Garden, which is the little community of cryptonauts that I am a part of, there was a question that was being asked by Pete. And he was asking people if they regretted being in crypto. And he reflected on a couple sayings and just thoughts that how we do anything is how we do everything. And that for Pete, his participation in crypto was really just showing how he is in life. That he rushes into things a lot of times without thinking, and he is quick to jump without doing the research. And crypto reveals these things to us very clearly, but in life, these things are also present. So he was really framing this like, how do you view the time that you've spent in crypto? Did you make money? Did you lose money? Do you regret it? And it was fun to hear people talk and give their little thoughts about whether they regretted it or not. Most people didn't regret it. A lot of people saw it as lessons learned. And I've come to believe that there are far, 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 far fewer humans that made money in crypto, even in this bull cycle. And I mean, significant life changing amounts of money versus the vast majority that didn't. And so that question about regret. And so for Pete, it was this sort of reflection of himself, and I think it was for me as well. I think I see how not only with crypto and trading, but with this YouTube channel and just everything this last year, it's a big reflection of myself. So my cycle is I get this huge idea or gust of wind or this thing that I'm so excited about. It's the biggest and best thing in the world. And for me, when crypto kind of entered my sphere, I was just obsessed with it. And so then I went into this cycle of really trying to do it well. And I did all the studying, and I was, learning how to do TA, and I was getting my feet wet with trading, and I was investing, and I was talking and communicating. And then what typically happens is my results are less than my imagined results. The giant oak that I imagined in my visions of trading, maybe in the beginning, were a lot different from the actual garden that was growing. And then there's sort of this cycle of, I don't know, for me, I think it's a lot of disillusionment. Maybe, it wasn't worth it, or, the time that I spent was less than the result. And so there's a waning and even, kind of that laziness about it. And I think with crypto, I definitely had a period where I was just so burnt out. I think it hurt me. I was kind of in a victim-like position, and the benefits were not what I wanted them to be, and so I kind of moved away from it. But I am now, still here trying to ride this horse. And again, I'm talking about both crypto and this YouTube channel, because when it started, I was really excited, and, to have all of these people show up and everyone just so positive and encouraging of, me and what I was sharing and doing. And I made a lot of decisions early on that I wasn't going to, take ad money. I was really going to be speaking about what I saw in the space, so I didn't want to just become part of the space. And then, I think I had a little season where I was trying to actively make these videos, and I had in my mind, I think this community will support me through Patreon or through the Crypto Garden, or, I don't have to play the game the way that it wants me to play it. I'll find another way to do it. And then my mighty oak of uncomplication being a big deal, it's much smaller than that. And I haven't made any money from it, and this is where I'm getting into this regret part. I want to talk about this. I think that regret is a backward-looking process where we're thinking of ourselves on a timeline, and we're here at now, and there's things that we did in the past, and they have affected now. And I think regret is going back and finding these moments, these little points in time where we could have done something differently. Maybe we could have bought Snoge coin at 2 cents and then sold it at $1. And if we had only done that, then I would be on a beach right now, and I wouldn't be, looking for work or whatever it might be. Or maybe, you can insert this in anything. It could be in your work. It could be in your relationships. If only I had married so-and-so instead of so-and-so else, what would my life be like? And so it's like taking the current moment and imagining this alternate timeline where you had done something differently. And I think that those patterns of thought can be super destructive. I've had them a lot with my company that I got fired from. I know you've heard me talk about that a lot, but man, there's so many points in that timeline that I could go back and in my mind change something that would then catch up to this future, and this present moment would be different. And so, with my little drawing up here, uh, in that sort of pain zone, maybe you made a mistake, maybe you bought at the top, maybe you traded on leverage, maybe you did any number of things that caused this grand image that you had in your head to be much less than what it ended up being. I think the regret is that tendency to go back and create a fantasy where we had done something different. And that to me is not super useful. I think it distracts us from our ability to accept the present moment, to accept ourselves. I've had a lot of negative self-talk for myself in the last year because I have felt how much my personality and my sticking to my values has really limited my opportunities, and sometimes that's really challenging when I'm having a hard time despite sticking to the values. This world, speaking very generally, but the world we live in seems far less rewarding of human-heartedness and a lot more willing to reward people that prey on each other. And I've talked about this on this channel before, that the only reason why you can sell crypto at a market cycle peak is because there's another fool coming in that is ready to take the bags off your hands at that high price before it comes crashing down. And these pumps and dumps and all these things that happen, that's representative of a lot of our culture, I think, globally. That so long as it's a mess not in my backyard but in someone else's backyard, I don't really care. And most people are more than happy to sell something at a peak for a profit, even though that means that someone else bought it at a loss. So, little bit of a sidetrack, but that kind of circular thinking and looking backwards is very different in my belief than learning. I think learning is something completely different from regret. And I think learning takes place in the present. The things that you've learned affect your present without there being some imagined timeline like regret creates. So, my way of describing learning is something like in crypto, it would be, wow, I'm getting this feeling like I should sell. Prices are really high. People are going crazy. We have all the moon boys out. I feel like I should sell. Last time I felt this way, I held because I was greedy and I thought it was going to go up, and then the market went down. So this time I'm going to hit the damn button. That to me is the learning of a lesson. It's not saying, oh man, if only I hadn't held on last time, I'd be in a better place. It's saying, gee, last time I was in this situation, there was an outcome that could have been avoided, and so now here's the situation again, and I'm going to act differently. And that's important to me right now because there has been so much time wasted by myself looking backwards at crypto, at YouTube, at the various projects and things that I've been involved in, and it's really easy to get into those fantasy regret timelines. But if we are instead anchored into learning, then now is exactly what it needs to be. And now is the moment, it is the opportunity from which everything else flows, and everything that I've done, good, bad, or otherwise, has brought me to this spot, and this is the spot from which everything else is going to come. And I said this a lot when I was at Community Funded and inspiring teams to overcome huge challenges day after day after day. And we would get these big setbacks, and it would be, we'd all be kind of down, and we'd all kind of be beat. And I would say often, right now is the most opportunity we've ever had. And everything we've done previously has put us here together with the things that we know in the place that we are. And how can we have anything but appreciation for that? And so that's how I'm coming to feel right now, even with the train wreck of the last couple of years and all of these alternate timelines of different things we could have done, all the regrets that could be there. Instead, I am seeing this moment as exactly where things are, not where they should be, not where they ought to be. not where they could have been had I done something different, but just how things are. And my actions are going to come from this wisdom, from the learning, from the experience. And it is not even a forward looking, it's just a present looking. And I'll do another one of these little sketches maybe tomorrow and just talk about what I think my biggest challenge is right now. And I suspect that it is the same for a lot of other people as well. But just accepting myself as myself has been so hard because I see all the places that I feel like a failure. I see all the things that I could have done. I see how lazy I am and that I'm here, at 11:50 on a Wednesday making this video that really is just for my own gratification rather than going out and earning money and contributing. And like, I know what a charlatan I am. And so coming to that place of self-acceptance, I think, is one of the hardest challenges there is. To love ourselves is so difficult um, a lot of the time. And yeah, this question this morning in the crypto garden about regret, and and then it kind of turned into this conversation about learning. I just wanted to share some thoughts around it because I think it's a good one. And if you like this type of stuff, I've been posting more in my Patreon. I actually posted something on YouTube briefly the other day, and then I took it down because it was a little bit too personal, talking about my relationship. I am posting those things in Patreon, but I'm not posting them on YouTube. So you can go to Uncomplication Patreon, patreon.com/uncomplication, if you want more of this. But yeah, I'm just showing up. I'm just making sketches. I'm just talking about what I think is interesting to talk about. It is what it is, and I will leave it at that. So thank you for listening. Until next time, cheers.